Ring in the summer with a worldwide day of music. June 21st is Make Music Day, and it's happening in cities and towns all across the globe.
From porches to concert halls, parks to city streets, musicians everywhere will be sharing free live performances. Do you sing in a choir? Strum on a guitar on your porch? Let the world hear you.
Visit makemusicday.org to find a celebration near you or to sign up and join the movement yourself.
Because music isn't just for the pros on Make Music Day, it's for everyone.
Hi, my name's Cindy Hulej. We're here at Carmine Street Guitars. My brand is Cindy Guitars, and we handcraft guitars out of like old New York City building wood from the 1800s and a lot of other old growth stuff as well. But we get a lot of the New York City stuff from places like the Chelsea Hotel, Chumley's, McSorley's, John's Pizza, Jim Jarmusch's Loft, all kinds of stuff. Let's see, where do I go from there?
How did you get started making guitars? Do you play?
I do play. I'm a bit more of a woodchuck now, but Johnny, my husband Johnny, and I have started a project, a duo thing now called the Suspect Chart. So I'm starting to play again, but I did grow up with it, with playing guitar. My father was a player for about 40 years, and that's kind of how I really got into it. But then during high school, I was following what Rick was doing on the Gear Page, Marshall forums, and all that stuff. And I loved what he was doing. And, you know, I kind of came to the city with no money out of high school and saved up. I worked really hard, sort of bartending, suit and tie, Italian restaurant kind of thing, making some money for a few years. Got my own apartment, got laid off from there, got good unemployment for a year, and I just said, I don't want to work in art galleries on the side anymore, because I was always on the taking care of the artist part of it, the book part of it, which I wanted to be on the other side of it. You know, I didn't want to work a Guitar Center or anything. I wanted to do something with guitar, so I thought about it, and I said, I want to work with Rick Kelly. So I walked in here one day and kind of told him my story. And he said, I can't pay you. And I said, it's okay. I got unemployment for a year that'll, at least at that point, would cover my rent. So I did have some side jobs and stuff for some years before I got really steady with this. But yeah, I've been here ever since. He said, kind of, you know, sit at the computer. I'll show you around in the back, answer the phones. And I've been here almost 13 years now.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Can you describe for folks who appreciate music, appreciate guitar, primarily electric guitars, they're solid guitars, right? I don't know if you do any hollow or semi-hollow.
We do like chambered stuff and things like that. And actually, Johnny's working on one for himself right now for our project that I was talking about, which is behind here. This is going to be an inspirational ode to Dungeons and Dragons, this thing, for this woman in Canada. So this is going to be a one-off, kind of all carved, inspired by crazy build that I'm going to be doing. But yeah, this one. So this is just going to be the top, and this is going to be all hollowed out and stuff. It's in the rough beginning stages. So we do stuff like that. Well, we haven't done that before with the old pine. So normally we don't make sort of all hollow guitars, but we'll be doing that kind of thing for the first time with this one, and we're very excited. This one's kind of like a mix match, sort of hybrid between a like a Jag and a Gretsch White Falcon, because Johnny's a big White Falcon fan. But yeah, otherwise it's all solid body electrics and basses. Some chambered if you need it.
And talk to me a little bit about the electronics, the different types of pickups, and obviously electronics are inside. So how do you
well, we do everything pretty much custom in here. Yeah. So we don't make the pickups here, but we work with guys that just make pickups forever. So one of the main guys that I work with, his name is Smitty, and he's with MJS Pickups up in Toronto. And he's been winding for over like 30 years now, and it's him and his wife set up on their property with like their whole business. So they're a really cool old school family, super intelligent and really knowledgeable about what he does. Also, like Lindy Fralin, we worked with Don Mayer forever, and his pickups are just going for crazy amounts of money now. So we haven't been using him lately, but we have a bunch of stuff with Don Mayer's in it. Lindy Fralin. Rick still uses Seymour's and DiMarzio's a lot, you know. But yeah, and Gemini here in New York, this guy Rob Banta, he's been doing it for like a decade now. We work with him a lot, you know, especially for the people that want like all New York builds.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah,
So how?
But yeah, everything's custom though. I get everything custom line for the custom builds, so I usually put people directly in touch with the pickup maker, and they go back and forth and say, okay, this is what I like, this is what I want, or can you do this? So Smitty does all kinds of crazy stuff.
What are those decisions driven by? Certain sounds or?
All kinds of stuff. Yeah, I mean, I usually tell
like?
people if they don't know what they're kind of going for, because some people know exactly what they want, and then other people are like, I have no idea, I just love your work or whatever it is. So yeah, if they don't really know, I usually tell them to talk to whatever the pickup guy is, tell them, you know, the kind of music or favorite guitarist or what kind of sounds they're going for, and you know, they'll usually come up with a visual, and that's about it. Usually they have pretty good suggestions for people, and I've always had great luck with everybody I've worked with. They always sound great, so yeah, it's cool.
Do you do, obviously 6-string, do you do bass as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we do basses. Yeah, I got a couple orders for 5 strings, I think, right now coming up. But yeah, we do 4 and 5 strings. Done a couple.
So I'm super interested in the process. I don't know, do you want to start with, you mentioned the wood. I think it was one of the draws for me here is kind of the history of where the wood comes from. But so these are old beams and parts of buildings.
Yeah, so I mean, this building, for example, where you're standing right now, if you look up at the skylights and all this is actually the backyard here. So this building is 1827. And what happens is a lot of these from back then, when they get older, just the ends of the beams will rot. And in these old buildings, it's every 16 inches, there's another, you know, roof raft or floor joist running across. And it's just the very ends, they'll take them out. But, you know, this wood for most of New York City, Brooklyn, the old buildings that are built out of this stuff, they're trees that grew for 500, 800, maybe even 1,000 years, and then were cut down, brought down the Hudson and the log runs, built all of New York City. And, you know, with the wood being that old and then being indoors another 100 or 200 years throughout the seasonal changes here, through summers and winters, expanding and contracting, that's what really makes a difference. You know, in the sound, and especially with how these trees grow, pine trees, conifers, they don't have to reach through the canopy to get to the sun. They grow very straight in grain. So that's another reason why this stuff is great for instrument making if you want to work with all the nails and knots and dumpster diving or whatever you got to do to get it.
How does the wood change the sound?
Well, if you were to look at this stuff, what I'm saying is, like, with it growing so straight, on like a microscopic level, the grain structure is so straight, it opens up over time. It crystallizes all the molecules, and they open up like a bundle of straws. So it works really well with having the all pine bigger necks that were known with no truss rod, with the pine on pine. It just fully just kind of opens for the vibrations and resonance. This stuff is a little warmer in tone, you know, compared to maybe maple. Maple's very bright. The pine overall, if you get one of these, they're very warm, but they're super chimey. They just ring out. They're really resonant. It's great stuff. It's different stuff to work with. And then we have a lot of other old growths that we do work with. So a lot of people kind of wonder, like, you don't put any truss rods in anything. No. It's just the 1 inch, like, classical thickness, Benner J45, 50s Telly style, full inch thick neck, no truss rod, but quarter sawn, and you got to know how to work with, the wood. That is a different story. Everything else that we work with here, skinnier necks, other woods, we always put truss rods in them. It's just a different story with this stuff. So, but yeah, we have 150-year-old hard rock maple. We got gaboon ebony, Brazilian rosewood. It's all new old stocks, old stock stuff that Rick got, back in the 70s at farm auctions and things like that. So, Paduke, zebra wood, oak, cedar, we got all kinds of stuff here. But it's nice that we get to work with all the really good old wood, because a lot of the stuff they're using now is really green and rubbery, even for the necks. Yeah.
I see I was looking over here that a lot of the old beams from, I see Chelsea Hotel and
yeah, it's a lot of the
Chumley's,
places. Yeah, we got to update that wall too. We recently got some beams out of John Lennon's first house on 105 Bank Street. We got John's Pizza. We got some wood right here on the corner. They were renovating right on Bedford over here in Carmine, so me and Johnny went over there. Took a couple beams out of the dumpster. But yeah, we get them from all over the city. And yeah, one of the cedar pieces that we got is one of the guys that owned where the new Google building is over here. And he actually brought some beams in of the water tower wood. It's one of the gray sort of drop horns that Rick made out there. You can see it out there. You'll know.
I'll grab a shot of it.
Totally different patina. It's just like, this stuff is just like it's all gray and white. It's a different type of, because it's cedar, but this is mostly like yellow, white pine, Douglas fir sometimes if we get some of the neck wood in once in a while. But yeah, it was the stinkiest stuff to cut into, and it was just weird, but yeah. But yeah, it was water tower wood. I thought that was a really interesting trade.
That is cool.
Yeah.
So it starts off two beams, is it? And you join them?
Well, some of them are wide enough for one-piece bodies, actually. Like, if you look at those those really tall ones, the three of them there.
Oh, right, yeah.
Those are wide enough for one-piece bodies, I think. But a lot of them, the actual 2x4s that they used to have and everything, you usually get like a piece off the same board, or if it's thick enough this way, we'll do like a book match where we open it up, kind of like that piece, although that's not the old pine, that's a different piece of some kind of black lace wood that I got for Rick a while ago. But yeah, so yeah, most of them are just center seamed, some of them are one piece, and some of them are book matched. So that's really, we do some other ones, if it's rarer wood like McSorley's or something, where we'll sandwich a few pieces, so it's all different parts of this stuff, but from different places or different parts from the same building. But, yeah.
So do you use templates? Obviously, I'm assuming this is not a template, this one here.
That is a template for the outlet. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually doing this whole thing carved by hand no matter, but I wanted to lay everything out and have a proper template of what I did so that I can trace all this on there when I get going for routing and carving on this whole thing. So, but yeah, normally, like these are some of mine, but Rick's got like hundreds of them down here that he's made throughout the years. Oops.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I came unplugged.
I stepped on it there. There we go.
Are we good?
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all handmade. So for, like one build, you might need anywhere from, maybe even just one or two templates up to maybe 7 or 8, depending on if you have things layered and routed different and stuff. So we hand make all these out of tempered masonite like Leo Fender did back in the 50s. And then everything is kind of from there pretty rough. We gotta pull all the nails. Like if you look at that nail box over there by the leather station, like these are some of the nails that we've pulled out of the boards. Back in the 1800s, they would, make these solid iron square cut nails. And so what we do now is, you'll see some of them out there. You got to ask Rick about it. We actually send these to Smitty up in Toronto, and he makes us custom pickups now.
Out of the nails.
We call them nail head pickups because they can work as the pole pieces because they're solid iron. Yeah, we call them nail head pickups, and the actual face of the pickup is the Chelsea Hotel wood and sometimes Trinity Church. So we're doing that for our custom stuff now too, which is nice. And then yeah, for finishing and stuff, like we hand mix the shellac. So we use denatured alcohol and shellac flakes. For people who don't know what shellac is, it's more of a natural finishing, closer to like a violin finish than something like a nitro or those really shiny, thick, plasticky, crappy finishes. Crappy. I mean, they're cool for certain things. I like them, but not for this stuff. I think that, we like to use the natural finishes here because it kind of lets the wood breathe a little bit more. Shellac is made from the lac bug, so it works with the old characteristics and the old wood a little bit better, in our opinion, than covering it all in a thick plastic coating. Yeah, these are some of the scraps. So we've been kind of just hand making little things out of stuff. So we've been doing like John's Pizza scraps from the necks or bodies that we cut out that are left over, or this is Chelsea Hotel wood that came out of there. So we've been hand wood burning stuff. Yeah, so basically, like, the wood starts out like this, right? Okay. Say you want to do half a telly body out of this. You pull the nails, and then you'll take the template and lay it out rough, right? So then you'll trace around this. Ooh. Flip it, other side on the other piece. And then you'll rough cut it like I did this piece, these two pieces. Right. And then we'll thickness this because this is too thick for what we want, especially if this cap's going to go on this. So this is actually going to be like a skim top back. And then this will be the front telly, which I didn't draw that shape on there yet.
Right.
So we'll actually cut a couple pieces, one piece off of here and one piece off of the other side, glue this up, and then glue these up on top of the front of it. Get the body done, then you rough cut it, which will bring you here basically, or here.
Right.
And then when you go to route, you'll attach your outline template, routing template, whatever you are, on the back of the piece, and then you come over here, bring this with us.
Okay.
And with this on the bottom of that wood, this bit will come down 1/8 of an inch every step you turn this with the pedal. The bit will come down 1/8 of an inch and cut all around. So you have the piece of wood here, it's bigger, right?
Right.
You just follow that around and this will cut the outline. That's how we do, a lot of the pickup routing and all that. But it's all kind of done by hand, and then with the use of these old kind of cool machines. And then for this machine over here, this one's really cool too. Right. Come over that way, back where we were maybe.
Okay.
This is called a duplicarver, and this thing was originally for gun stocks and decoys. So if you look here and down there, there's those points down there. There's 3 of them on each side, right? And this wheel is actually a wheel that you can spin. So originally, before Rick added this table back in the 70s, 80s, you'd put your master template of whatever gun you were shaping here, all finished and carved, and then you could take this isn't moving right now, but you could take this, and the rough cuts here would have 2 cutters, and you could flip them all at the same time. It's kind of like, a CNC in a way, but it's like the old school. So they used to do like ducks and gun stock.
Gun stock,
yeah, stuff on here, the decoys and everything. And yeah, so we use this for the contours. So on okay. Offsets and S Strat style S models, we'll follow the contours on there. If somebody wants a really traditional sort of thing. A lot of the time I'll just hand carve them by eye myself too. It's almost faster in my opinion, but gonna be pretty. What do you think, Cal?
Nice.
You don't want to keep it?
No.
I'm excited. It's gonna be beautiful. This is gonna be a really cool build because this is the one that's got the skim. This is gonna be the back skim top just taken down. And then we're gonna route this just a little bit around it in like my number 100 build so that it's all natural and then the face is all dark. This is gonna be cool. Beauty. It's not even
Gorgeous piece of
sanded
wood, huh?
either. It's gonna be really something else. It's called Black Lace something. Don't remember. I tried to find it, even my order. I can't find any of the information. I bought this for Rick as a present like 8 years ago.
And then last question, and I'll let you get back to work. The next headstock.
I don't do illegal headstocks. So, I mean, it depends on the build. But yeah, everything's kind of designed by me, or it's one of the ones that Rick already knows is approved. That's legal. But yeah, what
So explain that to
question
me.
did you?
Well, I'm just the idea that there's something legal and not is interesting.
So for bigger companies, I mean, even saying like Telecaster, if you're making something, you're not allowed to use that word, right? That's why you hear like Model T or S model or whatever it is, right? But the shapes for the bodies, Fender don't have patented. That's why you see those a lot. Okay. So those don't have to be changed for those two, but Gibson's a different story. I don't know if the double cut is like good or not. I don't know. It's been back and forth, I think. But yeah, for the headstocks though, Fender headstocks are patented. So if you make those, it's not going to be good. Probably, if they go after you, right? So yeah, I always tell people that, you know, I do my own headstock shapes and nobody's ever had an issue with it, you know. If they don't like one that I have available already, I'll work on designing something that, you know, they like. I've been building almost 13 years now here under Cindy Guitars, and I've never made one the same. Even the artwork, I don't duplicate stuff exactly on anything. If somebody sees something that I built or made that they like, I say, okay, I can do your own version. Right. Let's talk. So that's kind of a nice thing too.
One of the kinds, yeah. You do inlays on them as well?
We do all kinds of, we do inlays, yeah. The one out there in the front cabinet you should get a shot of because it's an S model, but the guy, it's his second Cindy, and he wanted the shop on the front all wood burned with me, Rick, Johnny, and our cat Dahlia in the doorway because we're like the Carmine Street Guitars band. He was kind of referencing like the Ramones against the Brick album covers. So he wanted us on this one for the face, and then the Brooklyn Bridge and like brass inlay on the neck. So that was a lot of work trying to figure that out. And yeah, Johnny hand cut the stanchions for it, and then I inlaid all the ropes. I got this like jeweler's wire that looked like rope to inlay, all brass, and then engraved it and everything for the detailing. So that one's out there.
I'll grab a shot of that.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff out there. Yeah.
Well, it's incredible. I appreciate the journey in here.
Oh yeah,
and
it's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, I love seeing all this stuff, and the story is great, and your story is great. So
thank you so much.
Thank you, Cindy.
Appreciate
and
it.
I'll grab
Come
some
by anytime.
shots and from all the gear out front as well.
Awesome.
Ring in the summer with a worldwide day of music. June 21st is Make Music Day, and it's happening in cities and towns all across the globe.
From front porches to concert halls, parks to city streets, musicians everywhere will be sharing free live performances. Do you sing in a choir? Strum on a guitar on your porch? Let the world hear you.
Visit makemusicday.org to find a celebration near you or to sign up and join the movement yourself.
Because music isn't just for the pros on Make Music Day, it's for everyone.